You are making a huge mistake if you're restricting yourself to working bedside in 2024. Because there are virtually limitless options in terms of where you can work these days, especially if you're a registered nurse, I strongly recommend that you start taking the time to see where else your skills could be utilized. You'll be surprised, and pleasantly so. One of the consequences of sticking bedside that a lot of nurses aren't actually considering is the fact that it limits your future career growth. That's why you see these nurses who have 10, 15 years of bedside nursing experience who have a very difficult time moving into leadership roles. If you are not extremely diligent in expanding what it is that you're capable of doing, when it comes time for you to apply for that position that you know is going to help you elevate your career, you're not going to get it because all you've done is spend your time providing patient care. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. There is a lot of value in providing direct patient care. Somebody needs to do it. But my question for you today is, does that somebody actually need to be you? I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason you clicked on this video is you know you're destined to do more. You know that there's so much more you could be accomplishing, so much more impact you'd be able to have, and most importantly, more income that you're able to make. So I want to implore you, while you're still working bedside, take the time to get involved in things that are going to allow you to stand out in the future when you're applying for these higher level positions. Great examples of things that you want to really get involved in would be quality assurance and change management opportunities, in addition to leadership opportunities. Charge nurse is a great way to get started and will definitely help you get your feet wet when it comes to leadership. However, even nurses who are 6 months out of school these days are becoming charge nurses. So you got to step a little bit beyond that. My recommendation would be to get involved in a quality assurance committee or joint workplace health and safety committee. The reason for this is these committees specialize at identifying areas that we have opportunities for improvement and then actually implementing changes that are intended to improve those outcomes. These types of initiatives are phenomenal things to list on your resume for two reasons. Number one, it proves to hiring managers that you've actually done your due diligence in terms of developing some additional skills that will allow you to maximize your knowledge as a nurse. Secondly, and most importantly, it allows you to develop leadership, change management, and quality assurance experience all in a single go. And this is what we call strategy. The nurses who have the greatest difficulty transitioning away from bedside when they finally get to the point that they're so tired, stressed, and burnt out that they literally cannot continue anymore are the ones who never got involved in anything else. Now I understand why this happens. You're going to work day after day working these 12-hour shifts just trying to survive to get to the end of your stretch, and the thought of getting involved in anything else is crazy to you. But I'm going to challenge you on that, and here's why. You got to understand that in order to be able to achieve a result that the average bedside nurse cannot achieve, you need to do things that the average bedside nurse isn't doing.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
The other thing is there's a lot of fierce competition for these non-bedside nursing jobs these days because everybody is starting to realize that working at the bedside just ain't it. And that's why it is critically important that you do everything that you can in your power to ensure that working bedside doesn't stunt your growth. Take advantage of that time, get involved in things that are going to allow you to learn transferable skills, and then sprint to the next position that's going to allow you to elevate your career and then go from there. I know for a fact that I am not the only one who's realized how dangerous it is to work as a nurse these days. While verbal attacks on nurses have been the norm for years, as sad as that is to say, it really seems like physical aggression is what is starting to become the new standard. Each and every day, it seems like there's another story about a nurse that's been attacked or somebody who brought a weapon to a hospital to exert violence against a nurse. Now, what this tells me is the biggest occupational threat to nurses' health is no longer burnout, but rather physical threats. And for where I'm at in my life and in my career and the need to ensure that I am physically capable to continue providing for my family, physical violence is just not a risk I'm willing to tolerate anymore. For me, the straw that broke the camel's back was when I ended up catching COVID in February of 2021. I had been on point with doing my donning and doffing, my hand hygiene, making sure I was switching out my N95 every 1 hour and made sure that my hand hygiene was elite. And despite all of that diligence, I still ended up catching the vid, and I was heartbroken because now my life at work was starting to impact my life outside of work in a very real way. I have a very comfortable king-size bed that I love to sleep on. But guess what? I was sleeping on the couch because I didn't want to get my wife sick, and I had to wear a mask inside of my house and in inside of my own car. I despise wearing masks. It was truly one of the things that I hated the most about the pandemic. If you're at the point where I was in 2021 and you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, check out the link in the description, and it's going to lead you to a page that's going to talk about next steps that you can take to get your journey away from bedside nursing started. And if you want to learn more about the jobs that are available to you as a nurse that are away from the bedside, go ahead and click this video right here. If this video added value to you, go ahead and send it to somebody else who needs to hear this message, and subscribe to the channel as well.